How has the college application process changed over the last 50 years? I know that when students apply to college today, it is a much different experience compared to when adults applied to college, but I've often wondered, how is it different? I decided to research how the college application process has changed and what were some of the most influential changes. When doing my research, I found this changed some ways for the better and some ways for the worse. First, I'm going to be describing how it's changed for the better. One way it's changed for the better is due to COVID-19. Due to COVID-19, many schools had to shift completely to online instruction and close their campuses. You may be wondering, how could this be positive? Well, due to this, schools had to rely more on the internet because applicants and school officials couldn't meet in person. Two digital resources that have been very helpful were Zoom and email. Meeting over Zoom or emailing a college representative were very helpful during the pandemic when travel was not possible or practical. Even now, 4 years later, people often use Zoom. The internet has also made a positive impact because it makes it easier for students to apply to more schools. Before the internet, students had to write his or her essay by hand or by using a typewriter and send it in by mail. This made it a much longer and harder process. Another online resource that has been very helpful is the Common Application. The Common Application makes it easier for students to apply to more colleges. While a Common Application was a thing, it has become much more popular over the last 50 years. A third way the college application process has changed for the better has to do with less reliance on standardized testing. Nowadays, some colleges no longer require the SATs or the ACTs. This is good because some students prefer not to take those standardized tests. This gives the students more freedom. When you, the adults in this room, were applying to college, I bet that most of you guys took the SATs, right? Well, nowadays the ACTs are more commonly accepted. This gives the students more options. Also, schools are now having students write more essays. This gives colleges a better understanding of who you are. A fourth way the college application process has changed for the better has to do with social media. According to a 2020 survey conducted by college officials, 65% of those polled think that social media is a fair game in the assessment of applicants. Also, social media gives colleges a better understanding of who you are. Research shows that those who use social media for academic matters have marginally better grades than those who use social media for non-academic matters. Now on to the ways that has gotten worse. While social media has had a positive impact, it has also had a negative impact on the college application process. Some colleges look at students' social media accounts to find red flags, so it's very important for students to be mindful of their social media activity. Social media also tends to bring down student self-esteem, causing anxiety. A second way the college application process has changed for the worse has to do with the cost of college going up. The cost of college has gone up about $28,775 over the last 50 years. This is happening because education funding from state government is decreasing. The cost of college has increased almost double the rate as inflation has. According to my research, federal student aid is partially the one to blame. According to National Bureau of Economics, the more money students borrow with student loans, the more money the schools will charge. A third way the college application process has changed for the worse has to do with legacy admissions. Legacy admissions is when a student has a better chance of getting into a college because a relative like a grandparent, parent, or older sibling has attended. Legacy admissions has changed a lot over the last 50 years. While it may give a student a better chance of getting into a college, it may not be the college that is right for them. On the other hand, some colleges no longer believe in legacy admissions. A fourth way the college application process has changed for the worse has to do with acceptance rates dropping. Acceptance rates are dropping because today more students are now choosing to go to college. This increases competition. This causes colleges to become much more selective. It may no longer feel like it is enough for students to just get good grades and test scores. For example, the acceptance rate at Harvard in the 1980s was 16%, but now it is only 3.2%. Due to all of this, it is now much harder to get into college compared to 50 years ago. Overall, the college application process has changed a lot over the last 50 years. It has changed some ways for the better and some ways for the worse for a variety of reasons. The college application process continues to change. There's no way of stopping it. I wonder what it'll be like 50 years from now.